Hello guys, welcome. So this video today, I bring you this story of two friends who have now turned enemies. I'm talking about these two very popular actresses, Georgina Onuoha and Chioma Chukwuka Agbota. Now, if you were a very ardent follower of Nollywood back in the days, I'm talking about like 10 years ago, you would know who these people are. They were very, very popular on our screens. But after a while, Georgina Onuoha in particular relocated abroad, so she's been a bit absent from the Nollywood screen, especially in Nigeria. So recently, on 25th of February to be precise, I'm talking about election date in Nigeria. Chioma Chukwuka Agbota went out to her polling unit to vote. And while she was voting, as usual, with some units that had incidences, violent incidences, Chioma's unit was actually affected by one of such ugly situations where she was actually physically attacked by some touts, some thugs who wanted to cause some form of violence so that they would use that as a guide. So they will use that as a guise kind of to rig the election. She was physically abused. So immediately that happened, she picked up her phone and began to record everything that happened. She was actually wailing, crying, complaining, and actually talking to all Nigerians what she had just experienced in the hands of those people who physically rough-handled her. And when she did this video, she was actually talking about what she experienced, how some thugs attacked her, how some thugs maltreated her, and how some thugs actually, if to the extent of even almost, putting so much fear in her. If not that she had already voted, I'm sure after her experience, she wouldn't have voted. So after making that recording, she puts it on Instagram. She actually uploaded the story. And some hours later, to our greatest surprise, Georgina Onuoha, on the other hand, made a massive response to this story. Georgina made us understand that Chioma Chukwuka was just playing a victim. Georgina also made us understand that 4 years ago, during the presidential election in the same month, February, she was reporting some bad or rather ugly incidences that happened in some parts of Nigeria where there was election rigging, election malpractices, and all of those sorts, election violence. So she was actually covering the story and uploading it on Instagram, on social media for the world to know what's happening. And that Chioma Chukwuka reached out to her in her inbox and tried to stop her from doing it. Chioma Chukwuka explained to her that she, Georgina, is a brand, she is a public face, and that she should use her page to promote the good things of Nigeria rather than bringing out bad news, rather than showing the world the negative aspects of Nigeria, But Georgina tried to make her understand that, listen, I'm not pulling down the image of Nigeria. What I'm actually doing is showing the bad sides of this election issue, like the violent aspect of it, the negative things that was actually coming out from the issue of election, the areas that have been affected by violence, by malpractices. It's not something you should close. It's not something you should cover. It's actually not something we should hide. People need to know about it so that in case there are casualties, it should not be swept under the carpet. So that was what Georgina was actually trying to do, to expose the ills of the society. But Chioma Chukwuka, on the other hand, felt that protecting the image of Georgina as a brand was more important than her exposing the ills of the society. She felt that Georgina should use her platform to give Nigeria a better image, should use her platform to show the good sides of Nigeria, just to she was just expecting Georgina to just rub cream over injury, just to beautify the ugly situation. But Georgina wasn't having any of it. So Georgina dropped her some messages in her inbox, and it was full of insults, according to Chioma Chukwuka. Now, fast forward to 4 years later, exactly on the 25th of February 2023, which was election day, when Chioma Chukwuka experienced something that was, a bit on the bad side. She experienced not just that she was even told what happened or what was happening. This one happened to her in person. She was rough handled by this tout on election day. She was abused physically, and that was what she put up for the world to see. And immediately Georgina saw this. Georgina was like, wow, this is my time to retaliate. This is my time to kind of revenge for what you did. Oh, so you are a hypocrite. And 4 years ago, when I came out and I made my complaint about what was happening during the same presidential election, you told me, or you tried to tell me to shut it, to zip it up. So right now, you are experiencing it physically, like you are there, it's happening to you, and you are running out to the public to cry about what these people have done to you. Why don't you also keep quiet, endure whatever happened to you, and go inside for the sake of the good image of Nigeria that you intend to portray to us? So this off and on issue between the both of them continued, and Chioma Chukwuka also deemed it fit to come and, say her own part of the story. She also deemed it fit to come and defend herself on what Georgina had to say about her. So this is just a little clip of what Chioma Chukwuka had to say about the issue on ground concerning her and Georgina.
People look up to you, use your brand to, do good, albeit under the image of Nigeria. That is not so bad. At least my polling unit, and I was posting, people saw when the buses came, picked the ballot boxes, dropped the ballot boxes, took the youth corpers to, to the other polling units. And the conversation was back and forth and all of that. She was going on and on. She said, oh, so because some very privileged areas or something like that were peaceful, she should gloss over the whole thing. I said, no, I'm not saying you should say that whatever is peaceful. I'm saying balance your report. Just leave it to the bloggers and whoever that reports whatever to report, and just do your own part and leave the rest. That I know by now you're a citizen and you're privileged, you don't know how it feels. You're a Nigerian first, whatever be the case. And then she responded, and then went to her page. She called me names. I was shocked. I mean, like, it was as if it was someone else. Like I was meeting her for the first time. She called me names, said all sorts and all of that. And I kept quiet because I just felt it was one of those things. Fast forward 4 years later. 25th of February, 2023. I'm trying to, so I got up, everyone's gingered, new Nigeria, hope, change, let's do this and all of that. We went, I posted. I remember that I met like 3 or 4 people that said they came, they were planning to come around 1, 2 to come and vote before, the club, but because they saw my post, they were gingered, they came out to other units and then to my own polling unit. So I was reporting what was happening, how people were still trying to gather themselves, set up and move to other, and then you guys know eventually what happened. It could have been reported. I could have been reported. It was just God, nothing else. Because they were injuring people, they were beating people, they were hitting me. And the little boy who held my shirt up to my bra level exposed me. What if someone who had bottle or something or a knife had stabbed me? I'm still trying to deal with the trauma that came with what happened that day. And so when I got to where I slept that day, someone sent me a message and drawing my attention to a post Georgina had made. Said so many things, calling me names again, that she was glad I experienced what happened. For whatever reason, I don't know what I did. So I was asking myself, what if something, God forbid, had happened to me? That would have been Georgina's obituary to me. Would have been how she would have reported to you guys. What would she have told you guys? So all of this aside, when she said what she said on her page 4 years ago, she kept insisting that, you know, celebrities did this, blah blah blah, collected money, campaigned for people and all of that. She was still insinuating. She was insinuating that I had probably collected money from a politician to campaign, and that's why I was telling her to report that the elections were peaceful, as against what I told her to do to balance her posts.
Okay, so that's Chioma Chukwuka's own defense against what Georgina said about her. From this clip, as you have just listened, you can see that she was trying to explain what happened on that very day, on the election day. And also she was like trying to say something like, oh, so what if she had actually died, or what if something had actually happened to her in the process? Is this how Georgina would have talked about her behind her back? So at the moment, while Chioma is still trying to defend herself against what Georgina said about her, and is still trying to make us understand that whatever she told to Georgina 4 years ago was for good, and she didn't really mean it like in a bad way or whatever. But Georgina, on the other hand, as we speak, is still throwing shots, like serious hot fire. She's still throwing coals against Chioma. It's like something she was bottling up inside her for a while, and this is an opportunity for her to spill it. So I don't know what you see about this or what you think about this, but for what Georgina is trying to make us understand, she is like kind of seeing Chioma as a hypocrite, someone who condemned something but went back to do the same thing. So on the other hand, she's like, she is doing what she condemned someone for. And that is Georgina's own issue, or rather her own annoyance in this whole thing. So that's it from me to you. Thank you very much, and I see you in the next video. Bye.
Prayers, thank you for your support. Thank you for always believing in me with the little that I find my hands to do.